Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Mike Francesa podcast, part of the Bet Rivers Network. We come to you on this week 18, the Football Friday for week 18, as we do the last podcast for 2025. And like I said yesterday, it's been a very strange year. I think we all can attest to that. And it has been a very strange NFL season. I know we could say that all the time. I know the ball always bounces funny. I know there's always surprises. There's always teams that come from way back and then win the next year, and favorites that fall by the wayside. In the NFL, teams have a habit of falling all at once. Um, we know that, but this is a year that has seen so many massive injuries impact teams so dramatically. We've seen the year of the ACL. We've seen so many ACL injuries, something I'm sure that they're looking at. Um, the bottom line is it leads to a not wild finish, but at least somewhat unpredictable finish. There's still a couple things up for grabs. And wide open playoffs. I don't think there's any question. I thought the Rams would be a heavier favorite in my mind going into the postseason in the NFC than they are. Their weaknesses have come to the fore, especially on special teams. Um, Also, the injuries they've had could be telling. I'm concerned about San Francisco's situation, especially with their legendary offensive lineman who Uh, looked like he did more than tweak a hamstring last week. Let's see what's going on with him this week, and heading towards the postseason. They don't play well without him. That's all there is to it. If Trent Williams is in the lineup, San Francisco is not the same team. Kittle's also hurt. I expect him to come back with the ankle, but like I said, if Trent Williams is not there, and he was remarkably healthy this year, healthier than he's been in many seasons until the other night. 2 division titles, that's what's up for grabs. There's a lot of placement to be decided. There aren't a lot of teams that have locked in their spots. Both number ones are still to be decided, which means all some teams have to do is win. Denver wins, they're the 1 seed. Alright? I mean, that's the way it works. Whoever wins the San Francisco-Seattle game is gonna be the 1 seed. That's the way it works. Um But there's a lot of shuffling that could go on. Again, that doesn't make as big a difference as you think, although the one if you're getting a bye, that obviously is impactful in a very distinct way, plus gives you a home field all the way through, but more than anything else, getting that week off is a very, very, big positive. As we said, there's 2 Saturday games, there's a Sunday night game, there's no Monday night game, and the playoffs begin next week. You have what most NFL fans would tell you are the 3 best weekends of the season coming up, one after the other, and then you have to wait 2 weeks for the Super Bowl, and really, let's be honest, when the NFC title and the AFC title winners are crowned, the season's really over. I mean, all that's left is the pageantry of a Super Bowl, which is nothing like a regular season game to begin with, and everybody else has already begun working on next year, long ago. Um The Saturday games both have meaning. The Sunday night game has plenty of meaning. We're gonna have something on the line, out of the South going into Sunday because it's a very unusual situation. The Panthers and the Bucks will meet. If the Panthers win, they are in the playoffs. They will be the 4 seed. If the Bucks win, they not only, need that, they need the Falcons to lose to red hot New Orleans. If that doesn't happen, then you will have if the Falcons win, and you could see the Falcons winning for sure, um, they wanna finish at 8 and 9, and wouldn't it be fitting of the Falcons, who lost twice, to the Panthers this year, who lost to the Jets probably the most complete game, one of the few complete games that Tyrod Taylor played this year. I remember he tied the game up with a 10-yard touchdown run in the final 2 minutes, and the Jets won the game. A loss to the Jets will keep the Falcons possibly out of the postseason. So you could have three-way tie at 8-9, and then Atlanta ties it for the division title at 8-9 and sends Carolina to the postseason. So despite what happens, unless the Panthers win, we won't know the outcome of that division until the Saints, who have been red hot, who have won 4 straight, who have played very, very well, both offensively and defensively, who have found their quarterback. The 6-10 Saints, the 7-9 Falcons, both playing very well. Falcons have won 3 straight. The Saints have won 4 straight. That game has a very good chance of deciding things on Sunday. And then Sunday night, why not? 2 teams that know each other very well, probably as well as, you think about these 2 battling as much as you think about anything. The Ravens and the Steelers. I mean, you almost my old joke used to be that the game was 17-14. In the old days, it was. It's not that way anymore. They're not the same defensive teams anymore. But there's a lot of question marks. People missing, people hurting. And the Ravens at 8-8 off an incredible performance last week by their legendary running back. An incredible performance in Green Bay. Now take on Pittsburgh, and the winner will be the 4 seed and on its way to the playoffs for its longtime head coach. And then there'll be speculation. I believe a lot of speculation about Harbaugh if he loses. I don't see a lot of speculation with Tomlin. I think he's coming back. I think he's going back in Pittsburgh. As far as the number 1 pick, the Raiders, who I would find it very hard to believe they're going to beat the Chiefs, even though the Chiefs look like they have no interest in winning, and obviously not many people on the field. I got to figure the Chiefs are going to find a way to win this game because the Raiders don't want any part of winning the game. They want to get the number 1 pick, which they will get with a win. The only other team that could get the number 1 pick is the Giants, and I think the Giants, who won last week, aren't thinking of number 1 pick right now. They're thinking about closing the season behind their quarterback of the future, and I think he wants to go out a winner against the Cowboys on Sunday and will be motivated to do just that. As the Cowboys and the Giants meet. So there's on Sunday, there's going to be 2 games that have any impact if the Bucs win. If the Panthers win, then it doesn't matter what happens between the Saints and Falcons. Then all we're talking about is the Sunday night game between the Ravens and the Steelers. The Saturday night game, obviously, Seahawks and Niners is a terrific game between 2 teams that have played very, very well all year. The Seahawks at 13-3, the Niners at 12-4. The Niners, with all the injuries they've had, have played such brilliant offense this year. As I said, a little banged up right now, and they get the Seahawks and Sam Darnold, and the winner will be the 1 seed. The losers in the playoffs. As a matter of fact, if you're going to use today's standings and say as it finishes right now, you would have Denver, New England, Jacksonville, Pitt or Baltimore, Houston, Chargers, Buffalo. And you would have Seattle, Chicago, Eagles, Tampa Bay, or Carolina, San Francisco, Rams, Green Bay. That's what you would have right now. The 4s are up in the air. They're the only slots that are open. There are no other slots open. No one else is playing for anything else except seeding, but very few of the teams are locked into the seed. The seeding can move. The 1, 2, and 3 can move. The 1, 2, and the 3 can move in both conferences. It doesn't mean it will, but it could. So while the placement is very much up in the air, as far as who's going to the playoffs. We know all but the two teams in the two divisions that will be the 2 4 seeds, either Pittsburgh or Baltimore, and either Tampa or Baltimore. And they both will be playing very solid fives. And will be underdog against either one, to be honest with you, because that's how strong the fives have been this year, and that's how strong these other teams have been. Especially the teams out in the West have been very, very strong. Houston has come on very strong. That division has played well. Jacksonville has had a remarkable season, really a remarkable season. Remember, if you go back a year, we weren't even sure Liam Cohen was going to take that job. He was going to, then he wasn't going to, then he did, and look at what's going on there this year. And a lot of people, were pounding on Trevor Lawrence. You don't hear them pounding on Trevor Lawrence anymore because he has had a really terrific season, and has led this Jacksonville team, which is good both ways, to a very, very interesting and a very impressive season. The turnaround of the Bears, the turnaround of the Jaguars have been really utterly amazing how dynamic it has been. The Bears have had so many late game heroics and so many amazing finishes, and even their finish the other night where they came up on the short side of the 42-38 decision against San Francisco was a heck of a game. I mean, the Bear games have been I mean, they have played some absolutely stupendous games this year against Green Bay, against San Francisco. They really have. There have been some very, very well played games this year and exciting games as we come to the conclusion of the regular season. While the regular bowl games, have been utterly destroyed by the chaos that is going on in college football, we do have the college football playoff games beginning this evening with Ohio State and Miami, and then 3 games tomorrow. A really good one between Oregon and Texas Tech. Texas Tech has been really overlooked all year. They'll meet in the Orange Bowl against in the 4-5 matchup with Oregon. Oregon a favorite, even though they're the 5, and Texas Tech is in the 4. Like I said, Texas Tech hasn't gotten the respect it deserves because people don't know it nationally, but they have been a team that I've touted to you all year. They lost 1 game this year at Arizona State, played without their starting quarterback, actually got off to a terrible start in the game, got down a couple of scores, came back and took the lead, and then lost it in the final 30 seconds. Only loss they had this year. Only really game that even they came close to losing this year. Very, very impressive team both ways, and I think it's going to be a great game with those two. On top of that, you have a game that I'm fascinated. First of all, I've always been a believer in the tradition of the Rose Bowl. I always think the Rose Bowl is special. I think America thinks the Rose Bowl is special. America wants to turn on the television set and see Pasadena on New Year's Day. That's all, as they sit down to a, dinner or have people over the house and they're just having, maybe a light dinner or whatever it might be. The bottom line is America buys into the Rose Bowl. They always do, no matter who's in it, just the pageantry of it. It is as idyllic a place to play a game as there is. I've told people forever to go visit that site. There isn't a bad seat in the building. It is usually beautiful weather, beautiful scenery. It's special. It really is. It's a special setting. It's a special situation. That's why it's the Rose Bowl. I mean, there are some things that are unique. The Rose Bowl is one of them. Tomorrow, fascinating game. Alabama, which went there 100 years ago as a unknown, and really changed college football. Um, and now Indiana goes there in a new era. And the idea of Indiana being number 1 in the country and a 7-point favorite over Alabama in the Rose Bowl is something that if you've been around college football for a long time is almost hard to digest. That's how much things have changed. That's how dynamic what Cignetti has done inside, obviously, a set of rules that were not in place for his predecessors. So don't judge what Bill Mallory did at Indiana, okay? Or Lee Corso did at Indiana, where they were not in a position to take and bring a team with them and pay players outrageous amounts of money to come and pay coaches outrageous amounts of money to stay. Okay, this is a whole different world, but give Cignetti credit. It is one of the amazing achievements, and he and his quarterback have kind of become the faces of this new era of college football. They really have. Uh, a player like Mendoza, a head coach like Cignetti, considering his roots, like I told you, knew his father. Um, Remarkable. Do you believe in Alabama and the old guard? Do you believe in Indiana as a 7-point favorite and the new guard? And that game tomorrow at 4 o'clock, a little early for a Rose Bowl. I don't think they'll kick it to 4:30, but still a little early for a Rose Bowl. And then at night, how good is Ole Miss? And I'll tell you, I've always liked Georgia. I always have great respect for what Kirby Smart puts out there. I like the perspective he brings. He obviously has put incredible, especially defensive talent, really all kinds of talent. When you look at his wide receivers, his tight ends that he sent to the pros, his defensive players he sent to the pros. I mean, Georgia has become a pipeline. I mean, the pros is just full of Georgia and Alabama players. I mean, so is almost good enough to win this? For a gun to my head, I say no, but I will be rooting like heck for Ole Miss tomorrow. In that 3-6 matchup in the Sugar Bowl tomorrow night. Georgia a 6-point favorite, Indiana a 7-point favorite, Oregon a 2.5-point favorite, and this evening at 7:30 in the Cotton Bowl, the Buckeyes, without question, the most talented team in the country, a 9.5-point favorite over Miami. Those are the 4 matchups, and we'll see where that takes us uh, towards crowning a national champion. 4 good games. Although I think Ohio State might run away and hide in the second half. I've been waiting for them to play a 4-quarter game. Let's see if tonight's the night for them to do just that. Now, back to the games, a run through the schedule, as I said, for week number 18. And again, not a lot to be really excited about. Tomorrow at 4:30, Panthers and Bucs. Understand this, Mayfield is still dealing with serious shoulder injuries, but he wants to play. I think he will play. If the Bucs win, they need help from the Saints, who have won 4 straight on Sunday. They need them to beat Atlanta. If Tampa wins, but the Falcons win, the Panthers go. If the Panthers win tomorrow, they go. So the Panthers have 2 shots at getting into the postseason. The Bucs, who have played terribly down the stretch and could lose straight out tomorrow, um, need a win and they need help to get into the postseason now. That's how bad things are. And then a great game at 8 o'clock, Seattle at 13-3. The Niners at 12-4, coming off that 42-38 thriller against the Bears. The Seattle 1.5-point favorite over the Niners. We'll see just how healthy Kittles is, how healthy Trent Williams are. Important, imperative. And then it's a Sunday, Saints and Falcons. If the Bucks have won, then the game between the Saints and the Falcons means who goes to the postseason. If the Falcons win, the Panthers go. If the Falcons lose, then the Bucks would go. Okay. Elsewhere, Browns and Bengals. Bengals just trying to finish out the string. Same thing with the Browns, but obviously the last week is a division game. Always is. Bengals would like to finish with another high scoring game. You know that. Packers will be taking it easy. Vikings want to finish with a winning record. Their defense has played very, very well. I would expect that you will see very few Packers and you will see plenty of Vikings, and the Vikings should be able to get to 9-8. Cowboys, I'm sure, would like to finish 500. The Giants, I think, want to finish with a win. And it's a weird game to pick, I know. I just have a feeling that Dart wants to run off the field with a victory tomorrow and tell you, see you next year. Wait for next year. The better things are coming. I think that's the symbol. You're getting 3.5 with the Giants tomorrow. Should be a close game. Should be some points. Don't know how many. Don't know who's playing for the Cowboys. Don't know. Who knows now this late in the season who's playing. Check your rosters. But I think it'll be a close game, and I think there'll be plenty of points. Titans and the Jaguars. Jaguars are playing to win a division title. They have not clinched their division title. They've clinched the playoff spot. They have not clinched the division title. They do that with a win. I'm not going to give you all the possibilities. I'm only going to give you the teams that lock up something with a win. Jaguars lock up something with the win. Texans need help. They're in the playoffs, but they need help to win the division. Jets, Bills know they're not winning the division title. They can rest people. They will against the Jets. Lions and Bears, same thing. Bears can move up. They're in the postseason. They're locked in. They're division champs, so they can move upwards, though. Broncos, a win, and they're the 1 seed. No one could take it away from them. They could also get in with losses, but a win over the Chargers, who are not playing a lot of people this week, and they've done a good job. Harbaugh's done a heck of a job getting 11 wins out of that team, considering how banged up everybody has been all year. He's done a very good job with that. They're in the postseason, and that's all he could ask for out of this team. I think it's an incredible achievement just getting that team there. Sean Payton's done a wonderful job. Is the question you have in the AFC is, are the young up-and-coming teams, the 3 of them, Broncos, the Pats, Jacksonville, young quarterbacks, are they ready to not just be happy to be here, elated to have achieved what they've achieved this year? Are they ready to take this to a Super Bowl? Or is it coming from the more grizzled group who've been in the postseason? Houston, obviously Buffalo, Baltimore, especially Baltimore if they get in. What about Baltimore if they get past the Steelers? You can see a Baltimore getting on a run. You can see Josh Allen taking his team and just willing them, despite their flaws, willing them into a Super Bowl this year. There's no Kansas City waiting. There's no Mahomes blocking the door. Is this the year for the Bills? Is this the year for the Ravens? Do the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers have some magical run in them? AFC to me is wide open, and I just have a feeling. I just have a feeling we're gonna hear a lot out of the Bills this year. I just have a feeling. I I just do. Now, before the season started, I picked Baltimore, which I thought was gonna have a really good year, and before the season started, they were out of it. Um, and I picked the Rams. So, I don't repick, so that's it. So, that was it. I picked Baltimore and the Rams. Is that impossible? No. Is Baltimore impossible? Unlikely, but not impossible. I don't know what's going on with Lamar, and I think Lamar is gonna have to be Lamar at some point if they are going to be that kind of team this year. If they are going to finally remember, they have been the best team, and they have destroyed themselves with mistakes, with miscues, with turnovers. Yes, last year, the plight of a very dependable tight end, horrified by what happened. They have they have lost when you'd walk away, and I think I've walked away more than once in recent years where I said, "I think the Baltimore was the best team," and they just shot themselves in the foot. Kansas City hasn't always been the best team. They just always have made the play that had to be made, and usually it's their quarterback that makes it. Is Josh ready to do that with Mahomes out of the picture? I think that could be the case. Chiefs and Raiders. Raiders, a loss, and they've locked up the one. I do not think Pink Parrell's gonna be back next year. They did a horrific job. Listen, Pete Carroll's had a great career. Coming back was not a good idea. Cardinals and the Rams. About a month ago, I thought the Rams were gonna be the 1 seed and really be in a dominant position. That has not happened. They've given away games. Given away 2 games where they had 99% chance, 98% chance or better to win both games. They had 4 games where they were in the second half with over an 85% chance to win and lost all 4. 2 of them over 98%. They have given games away. Will that continue, or are they gonna stop that? Are they capable? Yes. It looks like Adams is gonna be back to play. They are lethal. They have a great coach. They have a great quarterback. They have the best wide receiver. I'm starting to think maybe the best wide receiver or close to the best wide receiver I've ever seen in the co. I mean, he's on the level with the guys that you would, Lance Allworth. He's that good. He's that athletic, that quick, and his hands are that good. He needs to mature some, we know that, but his play, man. The other night, he almost pulled off one of the great would have been one of the great catches that anyone's ever seen, and if the deep back hadn't gotten in there and just jostled it so that the ball moved after he had already caught it and gotten his feet down, and then the ball was loose. Otherwise, it would have been a completion, and they would have had a chance to tie the game and send it to overtime. Dolphins and Pats. Dolphins 7-9. Sounds like coach is staying. Pats division title can still be the 1 seed. Probably not, but can be. How good will they be? How solid will they be in a big how mature will they be in a big spot? They're already playing with house money this year, let's be honest. What May's accomplished. I think Steph is the MVP. I think May gets to finish second. But I think Steph is the MVP. But they've had an incredible year under Vrabel, no matter what happens. What you don't want to happen is go out in the first round, at home. But hey, sometimes that stuff happens. It happens in the postseason. You got to be ready from the get go. And then the Sunday night game, of course, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, winner take all. They know the scenario. No Metcalf. Obviously, a key tight end target out. Oh, he has other ones. I thought last week, and I said this on Monday, I thought that and I'm going to put this at the feet of their Hall of Fame quarterback. I thought Rodgers went in there and decided, I am not going to be Garrett's trophy. I am not getting him. He's not getting a sack. And I think they were more, and Garrett said it after the game, and I agree with him. They were more concerned with him not getting a sack than they were winning the game. And they took weapons they needed to put into the patterns, and they kept him in to block him. And I think they designed stuff and really nullified their offense to make sure that he didn't get a sack. And I don't think that was the idea. I'd rather win the game and give him 2 sacks. I'd rather have beat Cleveland, not be having to play this game this week, and I don't care if he got 3 sacks. What do I care? And I don't know why Rodgers cares. I thought that was a really terrible take on their part and a terrible decision on their part, and I think they absolutely did it. I think it was obvious. They had Gainwell, who's been a huge target for him, chipping when he should have been in the pattern. You're waiting for him to go into the pattern. He's been in the pattern every time. He's been catching balls right and left. Where is he always? At the line of scrimmage. Made no sense. The idea wasn't to stop him. The idea was to win the game. Now they got to play a game they can easily lose. They're underdog to lose. But anybody who thinks Baltimore's a 3.5-point favorite, we know how they have more talent. We know what Pittsburgh's vulnerabilities are right now. But anybody who thinks going into Pittsburgh is going to be easy in a game that means the playoffs, think again. Think again. Look who you're going up against before you think that way. It's going to take everything they have. And if Pittsburgh won, would I be surprised? Not in the least. Not in the least. Sign up for the free Mike Francesa newsletter. You'll get exclusive content, contest offers. Go to MikeFrancesAPodcast.com and sign up. Now, players who place a qualifying same-game parlay of at least $10 on eligible NFL and NCAA football games receive one standard entry into the weekly Squares game. Winning standard Squares will be awarded a prize of up to $50 bonus bets. See app and website for more details. Now, this is the last show of 2025. We'll give everybody a couple of days off here to ring in the new year, and we hope everyone does it in a healthy and safe manner. We know there's been a lot of flu and colds and all kinds of stuff. They even have to take stuff up to people who are in the hospital up here last night. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's overflowing. People dehydrated, people with the flu, people with 104 temperatures. I mean, crazy. I mean, it's just it's an incredible strain. So everyone get through it. Be safe. Be smart. And be thankful for everything that obviously we have, and let's have a healthy and happy and joyous New Year's celebration, and we will see you in just a couple of days on the weekend as we put the finishing touches on the regular season for this 2025 NFL campaign. Again, from all of us here, Happy New Year.